Oh, I did not. Oh, I did not. Hello, beautiful people, and but I worked at Popeys because my boss was weird. Pedophile. Like, first, that's where I know you from. Something over here. I'm me. She right here. Yo, I did not press that button. I went like this, and my camera started. Anyway. Don't throw tomatoes. Don't throw tomatoes. Don't throw tomatoes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I didn't post last week. I swear, y'all, my days been like they just pass by. Like I literally don't even get a chance to like realize what day it is before it just passes me by. Especially because I don't have the same off days all the time. Like I switch one day. Well, like I move one day. There's always something on my glasses. Anyway, I like have rotating off days. So my days literally, none of my days are the same. I don't know. My life just be passed me by, and I'm trying to get out of that. Okay, I'm trying to get out of it. But anyway, I got a story time for y'all today, and I was really debating on if I was gonna make this story time. I keep looking here. I need to look there. If I was gonna make this story time, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just do it because I'm going to do it for a while. So, anyway, hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I think I want to get my microphone. Oh, I think my microphone's in the car. I think my microphone's in the car. I don't really want to go back down and get it either. So, well, then I'll try to use my microphone in the next video. I do have a microphone, and I've had a microphone since I've been posting all these videos, and I just haven't used it. So I was like, perfect time during a story time to get my microphone and use it. I could just run down there. Should I run down there? I decide no, or I'm not gonna run down there and get it. I'm just gonna do the story time. Moving on. So this is, as you can see from the title, my Popeys story time, y'all. My Popeys story time. Okay. So I didn't tell y'all. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I've worked at Popeys. Oh my god. Yes, I worked at Popeys. And it's just as ghetto as you would think it is. Yes. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory. We're gonna name the two characters in this story I, which is the mom, and O, which is the daughter, right? Because they both have, one has an I in their name, one has O in their name. We're just gonna do that. So, and I really don't care either if they see this. I don't know if they will. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't really care because they both know they was wrong. They need to know they was wrong. Anyway, so, right, I'm 15, sophomore year of school. I'm freshly 15, just started. I just left my other job, my previous job, because my boss was weird. I'm gonna give a little backstory on that before I start this other one. So my first job, I was also freshly 15, and same month, I got 3 days in my birthday month after my birthday, and I was applying because my friend had worked there, and she was like, yeah, it's not bad, it's pretty easy, you don't do much, like, what. So I'm like, okay, cool, like, I need a job, I need some money. I get hired on the spot. The The pay is bare minimum. The pay is literally what is it, 725 or 750, whatever the minimum pay is in America. That's what it was. This was a few years ago as well, but that doesn't matter. The pay was low. But I was a high school student. I didn't need that much money. So it didn't matter to me. I just wanted a job. And I've been wanting a job since I was like 12. So, okay. So I get the job, whatever I'm working. I worked there for like 7 months. I worked there for a while. And my boss at the time, I don't know if I can say it on here. I might just put a word or something, but he is literally called the pedophile. Like, that's what they called him. That's what the other employees, even his friends that worked there, called him that. And they knew that people were calling him that because he was strange. He looked strange and he acted strange. He acted strange, y'all. He was weird. And we think he was racist too, because let me tell you why. So, long story short, we're working. Me and my friend, we're both black. We're both black. We're both 15, almost 16, because we're like, our birthdays are like 5 days apart in real life. But there's this girl. She's not petite, but she's not fat. Like, she's a good size. She's younger than us. She's shorter than us. She's just a lot smaller. She has a baby face. Like, we actually look our age or about our age. And so she was like 14. And she liked to work. She would work and then travel and then work. And that's something that she still does to this day. And we're going to call her E. E loves to work and loves to travel. Well, not necessarily loves to work, but she likes money. And so she saves it and, and then she'll just go and travel by herself because she always said, like, her parents wanted her at the house. So they didn't care if she was going to different states and countries and stuff on her own, which is insane. But it was her reality. So she comes and complains one day that he cut her hours. Mind you, she's 14, working like 30 to 40 hours a week. That's illegal. So me and her looking. Oh, I just said her name. She probably doesn't care, but we're just gonna call her M. Me and M are looking like he shouldn't have been giving you those hours either. Like, he shouldn't have been giving you those hours anyway. Like, we are old enough. We're older than you. We should be getting more hours. Working like 10 to 12 hours a week, making $7.25. Right. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, like, he cut my hours randomly. Didn't tell me why when I asked him. He just said, he had to give other people hours, whatever. And so we're like, we're thinking, because he's been giving her, she worked there before both of us. She worked there before both of us. And she was getting on the hours, but he wasn't giving anybody else hours who he didn't really like. That's why they called him what they called him. And we were like, he probably got in trouble. Somebody probably reported it that you were working 30, almost 40 hours a week at 14. And the fact that your parents weren't questioning that because they just want you at the house is insane. A lot of people, I think, don't deserve to have kids. Like, they don't need kids at all. Like, I think there should be a mental and a physical test before you have kids and before you can have a pet, because that's my hot take. That's another video. But so he got caught pretty much and had to retract some of her hours. Cool. He's still not giving the hours to me or my friend M though. So we're texting him, both of us separately, didn't know each other, we're texting him. Text him, we're like, hey, can we have some more hours? I'm available this day. Like, is there any time that's free? I'll even come in early. No response. Text him again. Left on red, no response. Text him again, no response. So, sitting there, we both had talked about it at some point, and we were like, that's what he did to me. Oh, that's what he did to me. Oh, and so we were sitting here thinking, with our two brown heads, thinking, but he responds to E, who is white and a cute little girl, right? So we're thinking, okay, either he's a pedophile or he's racist, or maybe both. So this was our test because we asked, I keep saying these people's names. We asked E. We asked E, and we were like, can you, well, I think I asked E, not her, but we asked E, and we were like, can you text him? Like, does he respond to you? And she's like, yeah, no issues, right? No issues. So we're like, okay, that proves it. Like, you know, everybody else, we asked multiple people other than E. We asked all of the other workers who were all white. We were the only two brown skinned people. And they're all like, yeah, like he answers. Maybe just try him again. There was no try him again. We both decided that we were just gonna put in our 2 weeks. And that's what we did. And you know what? Guess who responded to that 2 week notice text? Exactly. He responded when we were putting in those 2 weeks, but he didn't respond when we were steady asking him for hours. We're asking you to come in, and you're not responding. But when I put in that 2 week notice text, you responded to that. Right. So, and then like during my 2 weeks, I ended up having to work with him off more often than I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And then I have this like bear hoodie. It's just a brown fuzzy hoodie, and when you lift up the hood, it has 2 ears on it. And he would always like compliment me on that. He was like, "Oh, this looks so cute. Look like a little teddy bear." Da, 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 da. Right. Anyway, so that was my backstory. That's why I had, that's my backstory on my first boss. So just keep that in mind. I know that was like the first 10 minutes. Keep that in mind on why I did things I did in this story that I'm going to tell you. So moving back over to the Popeye story. And you know what? Also, I haven't, since being, I wasn't fired, but since all of this at Popeyes, I have not eaten it since. And I am going on 20. And I stand by that. I will never eat Popeyes in my city ever again. Y'all got roaches and rats and y'all shit anyway, so. Right. Anyway. So, moving on. Back to the Popeye story. Okay. So, I'm, at school with O. And she had mentioned that her family worked in food service. She had said a specific store, but I was like, I can't remember. So one day I'm scrolling on my phone, looking for a job because I just quit my other one. But I was a teenager. I didn't need to have another job lined up. So, whatever. I am scrolling. First red flag. This is the general red flag. You could only apply through Snag-a-Job. You couldn't apply on the company website. You couldn't go up there and get an application. You couldn't use, anything but Snag-a-Job. But they had listings on Indeed and all that. But if you applied on Indeed, they would call you and say, apply on Snag-a-Job. First red flag. But I'm 15. I'm not thinking of nothing. I'm thinking Snag-a-Job is just another app to get jobs. Right. So, y'all, I'm sorry. My nose is like is itching. I'm not trying to just be in there like that. Well, anyway, so I apply. Right. I hear back pretty quickly. Like I didn't even have to call them. They called me. And they're like, "Hey, you want to come in for an interview?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Period." And then the girl on the phone, right? She goes, "What's your name again?" I tell her my name. I said, "I'm Amaya." And I tell her my last name. And she goes, "That just sounds so familiar." I was like, I don't I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember, you know, having anybody with your name on. I don't know you. And she was like, did you come over and have my daughter do your hair? I was like, that's where I know you from. Yes, that's where you know me from. Yes, I did do that. Oh, I actually went over to O's house and she had did my hair. She had braided my hair. And um halfway through, I think her family had come home or whatever, and her mom, I was there. I couldn't remember like her name or anything though. So I was like, I don't think I know you. Yes, I did know her. So right, so I had already been to this girl's house and met all her brothers, everything, her mom, her dad, and all that. Cool. So I'm like, oh yeah, like, okay, this is gonna be a good interview. Like, I know I'm gonna get the job. And I did exactly that. I get to the interview, we talk, we're laughing, we're chatting. She even starts me at a higher pay because she knows me and her daughter likes me. So cool. I just got this job. Big moral of the story coming up. Moral of the story. I get this job. She's like, when can you start? I'm like, I can start this day at this time. Second red flag. I specifically had told her days I cannot work because at the time my grandmother was still working and we don't work those days. Anybody in the house doesn't work those days, so she can go do what she need to do because a lot of times she was working them long ass hours. Um, and so we would just drop her off and stuff like that. So I worked my first few days. This is going good. I'm getting free food. I never had Popeyes before, so I'm getting food, whatever. I'm making friends. Cool. Knock, knock, knock. That day that I told her I couldn't work comes up. I get a call. And she's like, hey, are you coming in today? And I was like, I'm not supposed to work this day or the next day. Like, those are the days I can't work. She was like, you didn't tell me that. I said, no, like, when we were sitting down at the interview, I said, I can't work Tuesdays or Wednesdays. She heard a different day. She heard Wednesday and some other day. And it's Tuesday. So I was like, I can't work Tuesdays or Wednesdays. She said, you told me Wednesday. You didn't tell me about Tuesday. And I have you scheduled for today. Mind you, third red flag. You can't look at the schedule unless you're there. There's no online thing to look at the schedule. They don't send it out to your number. You have to look at it when you're at work and then hope you remember or take a picture of it or something. There's no other way to look at the schedule. Third red flag, you also have to come in to get a check. They don't do direct deposit. You have to come and get a check from the shop. It ships to the business every week and you come and pick up your check, right? Moving back. So it's already three red flags. So, but whatever, I don't think anything of it. I'm young. This is my second job. I don't have the experience. So I'm like, yeah, sorry, like I can't come in today. Like this is one of the days that I can't come in. And she was like, okay, well, next time just let me know ahead of time. It'll have to be a no call, no show for today. I'm like, okay, what the fuck ever. Like, do whatever you need to do. I'm not gonna have another one anyway. Like, it's fine. Cool. Guess who comes from the call-in? Not her. My cousin. My cousin Kay. We're gonna call her Kay. That's not her name, but we're gonna call her Kay. She said, girl, I got hired at this really nice place. It's food service, it pays well, and you already have experience from like your other jobs. Girl, I just started this job like 2 weeks ago. Like, I can't quit already. Girl, yes you can. What the fuck are they gonna do about it? It's a better opportunity. They would be awful for holding you back from it. Yeah, you're kind of right. Like, and I haven't been here that long, so I'm not making that much of a dent anyway. Because I still need help with training and everything else. So I don't even count as my own single person. Exactly. Because go ahead and apply. Go ahead and apply. See if you get it, and then go from there. Okay, thanks. Right. My cousin calls and tells me there's a new job opportunity that she got hired at. I apply. I get hired. I'm like, okay, I gotta put in my 2 weeks. Y'all, I made the decision, which I still don't regret to this day, But I made the decision to text I's daughter, right? The girl who had did my hair. I text her because I had that experience with my last boss. My last boss, I don't know what I said, who was weird, right? So I text him like, hey, I was given another opportunity. And I wanted to know, like, if I put him in 2 weeks, do you think your mom's gonna go nuts? Or, I had experience with my last boss who was kind of crazy, made me feel really uncomfortable. I just want to know if, like, I should be prepared for anything. We have this simple, quick conversation. She's like, no, girl, like, it's okay. Like, it'll be all right, right? Something over here tells me, hey, let her know. Don't tell your mother. It's my conversation to have. And I'll tell her when I get to work tomorrow. But something over here goes, oh, girl, that's common sense. Well, guess what? Common sense ain't so goddamn common. So, whatever. I go to work the next day. I'm logging in and everything. I'm happy. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a good day, right? I noticed I has an attitude. But fourth red flag. She always got a fucking attitude when she had a bad day or had to yell at somebody. It doesn't last forever, but she yells at people all the time. This is the fourth red flag. She yells at people all the time. She yelled at this one girl, I don't remember her name, but she yelled at her because she didn't have her, like, uniform shirt. She was like, I forgot it at home, but I'll have it tomorrow. She's screaming at her. I mean, screaming at her in front of everybody, customers included, all that. She doesn't care who's around. She will scream at you. And that low-key scared me because I was like, what if I do something that simple? Like, that simple. Mind you, they had other shirts that she could have worn. But because she didn't have her shirt on, she had, like, a regular jacket on. She was like, sorry, you're going to have to take your jacket off. And she was like, oh, but I don't have anything under. I forgot my shirt. And so she's screaming at her about decency and not having her shirt. And then, mind you, the girl is shorter than I. She makes her reach for like 5 minutes trying to get the tote off the top shelf to get a new shirt. And she was like, and it better be washed. You better bring it back tomorrow. And this girl and I had like a sit down. Like when I first started, we had a sit down talk. And she was like, yeah, I's kind of mean. Like, she's cool until she gets pissed off about something, and she will just scream and scream and scream. And I was like, well, why do you stay? And she was like, I got a kid to take care of. I was like, girl, I know that's right. But I don't think she works for me anymore. But she's like, yeah, I got a kid to take care of, and until I can get a better job and some better transportation, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I was like, wow. That should not be a reality in any world, but unfortunately it is. So that also has set me off. So whatever. I has an attitude, and it's a noticeable attitude. But I'm like, okay, maybe she had to yell at somebody before I got here. Whatever, I waved to O. She's sitting in the corner with her brother. They're doing their schoolwork. Whatever. And I log in, and I turn to I. I'm like, hey, whenever you get a chance, can I speak to you? And she turns to me, she goes, oh, I already know. I'm like, huh? As soon as I cocked my head to the side and said, huh? You would have thought that meant that I was confused about something, right? But no. Instead, this is what she does. She turns to me. When I tell you we are face to face, literally we look like we're about to be kissing. Let me show you. We're like this. I'm me. She right here. How professional is that? How professional is that to be in a 15-year-old's face where our lips are about to be touching, screaming in this 15-year-old's face in front of everybody, in front of anybody who's in the store, in front of her kids in the store, literally like this. And she's screaming, don't ever involve my daughter in anything work related. I don't like to keep her involved. She don't work here. Screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming in my face. In a 15-year-old's face. And she's at her big age, probably like 40, 30 something, 40. Screaming in my face. And I couldn't even get anything out. She wasn't even letting me speak to tell her. I never told her to tell you. Like, I was like, obviously, like, that's your daughter, so I apologize. But Never told her to tell you. I thought that was common sense, that it wasn't her conversation to have with you. But obviously, common sense is not so fucking common. And I didn't even, I couldn't even tell her anything. All I said was I didn't mean to. And she just completely coming off and, I said, oh, but you did, da, 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 da. Literally like this. And since she's right here, that made me uncomfortable. I don't want you that close to my fucking face. You're screaming, spits flying and shit. So I keep moving back. She moved forward. I move back. She moved forward. I'm quite literally like this with this grown ass woman in front of my fucking face, taller than me, towering over me, in my face, like she finna headbutt me. That shit pissed me off. And if I get mad enough, I do tear up. But I wasn't gonna let her see that, right? So I'm like shocked and confused, whatever. She was like, but it's okay, like just at the end, right? At the end, fifth red flag. She does all this screaming and everything, and at the end she passive as hell. Like, oh, but it's okay, like just don't do it again. Ho, you just screamed at me in front of 12 employees and your 2 kids and anybody else that was in here or nearby in the drive-through anything. And then you go talk about some, hey, it's okay, don't do it again. You couldn't have just pulled me to the side and told me that in a civil conversation. Right. Right. So I'm livid, whatever. But I have to work the rest of my 6 hours. So I worked the rest of my 6 hours. I could have just walked out. I thought about it literally the whole time. But by the end, after a few hours, I kind of cooled down or whatever. Didn't speak to her. She was definitely like joking with everybody else. And I think she kind of wanted to include me in that. But I think she also got the hint, like, don't fucking talk to me. Right? So at this point, my 2 weeks are put in. But I'm like, I'm not fucking going back tomorrow. What the fuck is she gonna do about it? And I didn't. But I didn't go back because I actually got sick that night. Probably because she was screaming, got that fucking spit in my mouth. But I work my 6 hours and I go home and I don't come back, quite literally. But y'all remember when I said you have to go and pick up your check? So I go pick up my check and they're like, oh, do you have your uniform? I was like, no, it's at home. Like, nobody told me to bring that. They were like, oh, well, normally, this is one of her sons that works there. She's like, oh, well, normally you gotta bring your uniform back before we give you your money. You're not withholding my fucking money. But he was like, oh, but I'll give it to you. Just bring it back when you can. Which I did. Like, I still brought the uniform back because I didn't want that shit anyway. But one of the other managers, after he had already handed me the check, was like, oh, like, we're not supposed to give them the money till they bring it back. And he's like, oh, well, she already has it. She was like, oh, that's okay. Just bring back the uniform. Okay. So now, literally, anytime I had to go back to pick up the check and to pick up the uniform, I was literally ducking and dodging because I was not trying to see her. Because she trust. And my mom and them wanted to call up there and be like, who the fuck are you screaming at? I was like, no, just leave it alone. I probably should have let them call up there and get a hold of and scream at her. But I was like, the reason I didn't do that is because I still had to go to school with her daughter. And I didn't want it to be even more weird. I mean, her daughter would like every now and then still like say hello or whatever. But I think after that she realized like, okay, can't really, my mom kind of ruined that. I can't really talk to her anymore. I did talk to her siblings, or her younger siblings, more than her. Just because one of them I don't think was even there, and the other one they're just really nice. But yeah. So I since then have never eaten Popeyes. I've never thought about Popeyes. I don't eat Popeyes. I got roaches and shit in their food. Literally, that's not even me being petty. I'm for real. You could look it up. Even the one in my city specifically, people have posted like shit in their food. That's like not. Yeah. So that's my Popeyes work story. I didn't go back. I was sick, and when I went to call and actually tell them like, hey, I'm sick, my phone was turned off because, you know, my family is poor. So I couldn't even call to let them know, hey, like my photos turned off. And I think they figured like you didn't come back. You just screamed in her face and she didn't come back. She's not coming. And that would have been my second no call, no show. So I wouldn't have, I would have been terminated anyway. So I was like, well, I just quit. Like, I just quit. You're not going to terminate me. And I thought about when my phone got turned back on, calling to let them know, but it was already past my shift and I stopped giving a fuck. So my mom told me I shouldn't care either. So I didn't. So that is my Popeyes work story. More of the story is, one, don't work for Popeyes, and two, don't work for your friends' parents, especially friends you just met. Maybe if it's someone you knew since birth, but do not work for your friends' parents ever, especially not in food service. And if they're yelling at all the other employees, you should probably quit because they're probably gonna get to you next. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say. So, yeah. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And I'll see y'all later.